Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss the remaining part of the previous topics. Okay, we know already we have discussed the fundamental unit of life, the cell. We have discussed what is a cell, then cell theory. Who proposed cell theory? Schleiden and Swan. What is cell theory? Cell theory said that all the living organisms are composed of cells. Then cell is the basic unit of life. Then one more thing, all the cells arise from pre-existing cells or from the older cells, right? So cell theory we discussed. Then based on the number of cells, the organisms are classified into two based on the number of cells. What are they? Unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. The unicellular organisms, example, amoeba, then bacteria. Multicellular organisms, all the higher level of organisms like animals, plants or any other organisms, we can consider them as one multicellular organisms. Then we discussed that based on the presence of the nuclear membrane, based on the presence of nuclear membrane, the cells are classified or categorized into two, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. What are called prokaryotic cells? Prokaryotic cells are the cells not having a nuclear membrane, means nucleus is not covered with a membrane, nuclear membrane is absent. But in eukaryotic cells, the nucleus is covered with a membrane. It means nuclear membrane is present. This all these things we discussed. Then later we discussed then different parts, or generally we see in every cell different components of the cell. What are the three general components we see in every cell? One is cell membrane, second one nucleus, third one cytoplasm. What is cytoplasm? It is the fluid content in the cell in which many components are there. Already I told you, nucleus is present in the cytoplasm, then mitochondria, then lysosome, Golgi Apparatus, Endoplasmic Reticulum. Like this, many components are present in the cytoplasm of the cell. Then we discussed cell membrane or plasma membrane. Cell membrane or plasma membrane means, already I told you, it is an outer covering of the cell which is very flexible, and it allows the entry and exit of many materials or some selected materials. It is also known as selectively permeable membrane. Okay. Then we discussed nucleus. Nucleus is known as the brain of the cell because it controls all the functions in the cell, all the activities in the cell. Then we have discussed what are the contents in the nucleus. Nucleus is covered with a membrane which is known as nuclear membrane, and in the nucleus there are some contents. The nucleus contains what? Chromosomes. What are called chromosomes? They are the thread-like structures found in the nucleus, and these chromosomes carry DNA. What is DNA? What is the full form of DNA? Deoxyribonucleic acid. And the part of DNA or a cut piece of DNA or segment of DNA, it is known as gene. And this DNA, it has an important role. What is the role of DNA? DNA carries the informations or characteristics from one generation to next generation, or from parents to the next generation. Then we discussed what is cell wall. Cell wall is present only in plant cell. Then cell wall is composed of cellulose. It is made up of all the cell wall. Cell wall is made up of what? Cellulose. Then it protects or provides strength, a mechanical support to the cell. It prevents the bursting or breaking of cell. All these things we have discussed in the previous class. One more thing we discussed, that diffusion and osmosis. What is known as diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of a spontaneous movement of substances from a highly concentrated region to a lower concentrated region. Then we discussed what is called osmosis. Osmosis means it is also the spontaneous movement of substances from a higher concentrated region to lower concentrated region through a semi-permeable membrane. Then we discussed the differences between diffusion and osmosis. Already we discussed the first difference. What? It is the movement of diffusion, means it is the movement of substances from a higher concentration to lower concentrated region. Then osmosis means the movement of substance takes place from the highly concentrated region to lower concentrated region through a semi-permeable membrane. Next difference is that in case of diffusion, this semi-permeable membrane is not required, but in osmosis a semi-permeable membrane is required. Next we discuss that diffusion, it takes place in any medium. Diffusion takes place in any medium, but osmosis takes place only in liquid medium. And one more difference that we discussed, in diffusion only less energy is required, but in osmosis more energy is required. These are the differences between diffusion and osmosis. All these things we have discussed in the previous chapter. Now we come to the cell organelles. What are called cell organelles? Cell organelles are the components of the cell or the contents of the cells. Already I told you some components of the cell which are present in the cytoplasm, like Golgi Apparatus, Endoplasmic Reticulum, then Lysosomes, vacuoles, plastids, Mitochondria. All are the sum of the contents or the organelles present in the cell. Now we are going to discuss all these cell organelles one by one. Okay, the first one is endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum means they are actually a large network of membrane bound vesicles. So vesicles means some special structures found in the cell which are bound with a membrane or covered with a membrane. So we can say that they are membrane bound vesicles. These membrane bound vesicles are known as what? Endoplasmic reticulum. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum, a rough endoplasmic reticulum and a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic, and it is also known as RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then smooth endoplasmic reticulum, SER, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And the rough endoplasmic reticulum has ribosomes attached with the edge. Ribosomes, we will discuss about ribosomes. Just you understand that what ribosomes are present or they are attached with the what endoplasmic reticulum. Which type of endoplasmic reticulum? Rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, and these ribosomes are the sites of manufacture of proteins. So we know that in each and every cell the proteins and other components are made. So proteins are manufactured from what? Ribosomes. These ribosomes are present on the surface of what? Endoplasmic, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. And these manufactured proteins are sent to different places or different sites in the cell. Different components of this cell require these proteins for many activities, for performing many activities. So when ribosomes produce proteins and these proteins are transported in different areas in the cell, and this protein is utilized for many functions. Okay. Now we discuss on smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It helps in the manufacture of fats and lipids. Then some of these proteins and lipids produced by endoplasmic reticulum help in building the cell membrane. For making of cell membrane, it requires the protein and fats or lipids produced from endoplasmic reticulum. So here the making or manufacture of cell membrane takes place, and this process is known as membrane biogenesis. Okay, again I say endoplasmic reticulum. What are they? Endoplasmic reticulum are membrane bound vesicles present in the cytoplasm of the cell. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. What are they? Rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Both of them having different functions. What is the function of rough endoplasmic reticulum? Rough endoplasmic reticulum, it has ribosomes on the surface of it. Okay, these ribosomes are the sites of what? Protein manufacture. So proteins are made in ribosomes. These proteins that are made in the ribosomes are distributed in the different parts of the cell. Okay, and then we discussed that smooth endoplasmic reticulum which helps in the manufacture of fats and lipids. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in the manufacture of fats and lipids. So here proteins are made and fat and lipids are made. So all these things, some of the proteins, some of the fats or some of the lipids, these molecules are used for the construction of what? Cell membrane. So this process is known as membrane biogenesis. Okay, next cell organelle is Golgi apparatus. So first one, endoplasmic reticulum and its function we discussed. Next one, Golgi apparatus. It was first described by Camillo Golgi, a scientist called Camillo Golgi. So that the name is given Golgi apparatus. Okay. And it also consists of a system of membrane bound vesicles. Here also, already we discussed that membrane bound vesicles are present in the cell. They are called endoplasmic reticulum. The same way, some other vesicles, membrane bound vesicles are present in this cell or in the cytoplasm. They are called Golgi apparatus, a system together. Okay. The Golgi apparatus carries the materials produced from the endoplasmic reticulum to the other organelles inside and outside the cell. It means then ribosomes produce proteins, then smooth endoplasmic reticulum produce what? The fat and lipids. All these molecules are transported to different parts of the cell through Golgi apparatus. So the function of Golgi apparatus is then to collect, to store and modify what? The protein or fats or lipids. Then after modification, what happens? These all materials are sent to different regions in the cell where it is or where they are required. Okay. Now, complex sugars also made from simple sugars in the Golgi apparatus. Means in the Golgi apparatus, simple sugars are present. These simple sugars are converted into complex sugars like fructose or sucrose. So from simple sugar, complex sugar molecules are produced in Golgi apparatus, and it has an important role in the formation of lysosomes also. We will discuss on lysosome. So here few points are there about Golgi apparatus. The first one is then it was first discovered by a scientist known as Camillo Golgi. Second one, this Golgi apparatus is a system of membrane bound vesicles. So this Golgi apparatus carries the products manufactured from the endoplasmic reticulum. We know already we discussed proteins are produced, fats, lipids, all these molecules are produced in endoplasmic reticulum. All these materials are carried through or carried by Golgi apparatus to different sites in the cytoplasm or in the different regions of the cytoplasm. That is a function of Golgi apparatus. Not only the transportation, it stores and it modifies these molecules, then carrying or transporting to other regions of the cell. And complex sugars also may be made from simple sugars in Golgi apparatus. Then Golgi apparatus, it has another important role. What is the role? It has an important role in the formation of lysosomes. So first we discuss about endoplasmic reticulum, next Golgi apparatus. Okay, the third one, lysosomes. The lysosomes are the sites of waste disposal in the cell. Waste disposal. It is site of waste disposal. All the unwanted materials are deposited over in this particular region which is known as or particular components or particular cell organelle which is known as lysosome. And lysosomes, they destroy all the unwanted foreign materials in the cell. Suppose if anything unwanted material or foreign material enter the cell, these lysosomes can clean the cell by using its enzymes, powerful enzymes. It means that lysosomes, they can produce very powerful enzymes. These powerful enzymes can digest or destroy all the unwanted materials which are present in the cell or which come in the cell. So sometimes the cell is damaged. Suppose a cell is damaged or any other cell organelle is damaged, then what may happen? This lysosomes present in the cell may break down or digest that complete cell. It means then in a cell lysosomes are there. Suppose the cell is damaged, the lysosomes present in that particular cell will destroy all the components in the cell. It means that it completely destroys that cell. Okay, so by using its powerful enzymes. Okay, so then here we know that the lysosomes which are present in the cell, they may kill their own cell. So then these lysosomes are also known as suicidal bags of the cell. Suicidal bags of the cell. Okay, and that is about what lysosome. Okay, now we are coming to the next point, mitochondria. Already mitochondria. These mitochondria, they are known as the powerhouse of the cell. Why are they called powerhouses of the cell? Because this mitochondria produce or can provide energy to the cell for what? For performing many chemical activities in the cell. Means every cell requires energy for what? For performing many chemical reactions in the cell. This energy is provided by mitochondria, so that the mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Okay, now this energy is stored in the mitochondria in the form of ATP molecule. Okay, in mitochondria the energy is stored in the form of ATP molecule. What is ATP? What is the full form of ATP? ATP means adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. It means the energy which is present in the mitochondria is stored in the form of what? Adenosine triphosphate, or in the form of ATP molecule. So then this ATP is known as the energy currency of the cell. ATP is known as the energy currency of the cell. Then mitochondria, here you can see that it has two coverings, an outer membrane, outer covering, and an inner membrane. We can see inner membrane is folded structure and outer membrane just covering that mitochondria. Okay, a folded structure which is inner membrane. Okay, thus so here this inner membrane is folded so that many ATP molecules can be stored in them, in this inner coverings. And mitochondria, they have their own DNA and they have their own ribosomes, so that they can produce or they can make their own proteins. They do not depend on any other organelles for a protein. So here they produce their own protein from their own ribosomes. So these are the different points about mitochondria. So once again we will discuss from the beginning. Already I told you cell organelles. What are called cell organelles? The components or cell content. Many materials are present in the cell. Those whole components together we can say cell organelles. Different cell organelles are there. Already I told you endoplasmic reticulum, then Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, plastids, vacuoles, and many other are there. Now we are going to discuss, today we are going to discuss about only the 4 cell organelles. Endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum, they are membrane bound vesicles, right? And there are 2 types of endoplasmic reticulum. What are they? Rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, rough endoplasmic reticulum, they are having ribosomes attached with it on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum. So here these ribosomes can produce what? Proteins. In the case of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they produce fat and lipids molecules. Then some of the molecules of proteins and lipids, they are used for the preparation, for making or for the construction of cell membrane. So this process is known as membrane biogenesis. Okay. Next we discussed the Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus was first discovered by a scientist known as Camillo Golgi, and they are also having what consists of system of membrane bound vesicles, and they carries the materials which are produced in the endoplasmic reticulum to different regions or different parts of the cell, just transporting, not only transporting, then storing the materials like proteins or lipids, then modifying them, then transporting or carrying them from this endoplasmic reticulum to other places or other sites of the cell. Then one more function it has, that complex sugars may be made from this. Simple sugars were in Golgi apparatus. Complex sugars are formed from where? From simple sugars, and they are distributed. And the Golgi apparatus has another important role, that is the formation of, it helps in the formation of what? Lysosomes. Okay, lysosomes also we discussed. What are called lysosomes? They are the sites of waste disposal, because it has its own very powerful enzymes. With the help of these powerful enzymes, these lysosomes can break down or can digest the unwanted materials which come in the or foreign materials which come in the cell. Okay, so here suppose if any cell organelle is damaged, or if the cell is damaged, then what may happen? Those lysosomes will produce or will release this enzyme, powerful enzymes, and they may digest all unwanted or damaged cell or cell organelles. So the lysosomes which are present in the cell, suppose if it is damaged, then these lysosomes may digest its own cell. So then the lysosomes are known as what? The suicidal bags of the cell. Okay. Then we discussed that mitochondria. Mitochondria, they are known as the powerhouse of the cell. Why? Because mitochondria provides energy to the cell and cell organelles for performing many chemical reactions in the cell. And in mitochondria, the energy is stored in what form? In the form of ATP molecule. What is the full form of ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. So then this ATP molecule is known as what? The energy currency of the cell. Energy currency of the cell. And mitochondria, it has two membrane coverings. The outer membrane is there and an inner membrane. Inner membrane, it has many foldings. It is folded in structure. In this folded structure, many or number of ATP molecules are stored. And mitochondria, they have their own DNA and they have their own ribosomes. So those ribosomes produce proteins for mitochondria. So mitochondria do not depend on endoplasmic reticulum for protein or any other molecule. So here they themselves manage with their own proteins. So here we have completed we have discussed about 4 cell organelles. Okay, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, and mitochondria. Okay, I think you have understood very well, and you have to prepare notes based on this and write in your notebook. Many questions are there. What are the functions of endoplasmic reticulum? What is from where the proteins are made? What is the site of manufacture of proteins? What is the site of manufacture of fat and lipids? What is known as membrane biogenesis? Okay, then who discovered Golgi apparatus? What is the function of Golgi apparatus? Then lysosomes. What do they do in the cell? Why lysosomes are known as suicidal bags of the cell? The mitochondria. Why is mitochondria called powerhouse of the cell? What is the full form of ATP? Then why is ATP known as the energy currency of the cell? Or you may ask to write a short note on endoplasmic reticulum. Write a short note on lysosome. Otherwise, write a short note on mitochondria. Like this, many questions may come. So that each and every point is important. You have to study well and you have to write in your notebook. Today, you have to complete notes on all these important points, important cell organelles, and submit to me. Not only that, study well, and next class during interaction we will be having questions, and I may ask questions to you. So prepare well, study well, and come. Okay. So anyway, today we are going to wind up, and we will be coming, or we will be meeting with new topics related with the cell or cell organelles. Till then, bye. Thank you. Have a nice day.